how pretty that is. Are you dying? Like overdoing the highlight, but like, can you have too much highlight? Not really. Hey guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're doing something fun. We are doing a full face of new clean makeup. Two of these products are actually, no, they're all relatively new actually. I was just thinking that they have been around for a while, but no, they're relatively new. Everything is new to me. I've been trying and testing them out and I have some thoughts. I did this entire look using those products. What do you guys think? I would love to know what you have been either dying to try or just tried that you loved. Let me know down below. I love trying new makeup for you guys and testing it out. And again, these products didn't need to be like a dedicated video, so I thought a full face of like a bunch of new products, not too many because it can get overwhelming, would be fun. And we do a compare and contrast against other products that I feel like people will have questions about comparably. And yeah, that's it. I want to just jump into this video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this full face of new clean makeup. All right, let's get into it. A full face of new clean makeup. Really exciting. So let's get into the video. So I actually already applied a base product because I don't have a base product that I'm going to be applying today. And this is what I applied, the Westman Atelier, the complexion drops, and I wear the shade X in this. Next we're going to move on to the under eyes. So this is a new product that launched not that long ago. This is the Ole Hendrickson. What is this called? Banana Bright Vitamin CC Stick. I got the shade Apricot, which is the one in the middle. There's like a banana apricot and then I want to say orange just because it feels like it's in parring with fruit vibes. So I was really intrigued by this because I do love a very minimalistic under eye for days where I am really doing no makeup or days where I just want something really, really simple and easy that's just going to melt into the under eye and I don't have to think about whether or not it's sinking to the skin well or it's going to look like makeup. I want something really, really seamless. So this is the product and this is the shade Apricot. And I'm going to just do a little swatchy poo on my wrist here so you can kind of see the shade. Now when I got the shade, it actually, although true to the name Apricot, it did look online a little bit lighter than it does when I swatch it, but that's okay. We can make things work, especially if something is very, very sheer or light coverage. It's easier to make something work. So let's get into it. Now, the way that I like to apply this is just apply it directly onto my under eyes. I do have an eye cream on. You can kind of decide what works for you in your under eyes depending on how much, if you have you like an eye cream or whether you like something that is, you don't like to wear an eye cream or you just like to put your face cream or oil under your eyes. However you want to prep your under eyes is fine. I personally prefer when I'm wearing anything just to have a little bit of extra hydration, especially right now because mama's dry. So let's apply this to the under eyes. I'll do one side first just so that you can kind of see what it does. Now, as you can see, when I'm applying it, I'm kind of just going all in with it. It is a very hydrating product, which is good because, again, my under eyes are screaming. It's so dry outside. And you can see, I hope you can see. Yeah, you can see that it's definitely a little too warm for my complexion. I'm definitely more neutral. So this is a little bit warm, but again, this is a sheer-ish product. So with sheer, it's easy to kind of blend out and make it work for you. So if something looks too crazy, that's okay. Just blend and you might feel different about it. So we're going to take my finger and we're just going to blend. I like blending stuff right now with my fingers because I feel like it doesn't dry out my under eyes as much as other products do, or I guess blending ways do. Like if I use a beauty sponge, it doesn't dry it out, but I feel like it just it doesn't work with my under eyes right now as much as if I use my finger. All right, both sides are blended out. What do you guys think? I do think if I were to get a shade again for right now, I would probably get the banana shade because I do feel like this is a little bit too warm for my undertone, but also slightly too dark for what I like for my under eyes. However, for summertime, which is really what I was getting this product for when it was warmer out and I had a little bit more of a tan, I would like this shade. When I get up close you can very much still see my under eyes. I mean, I can see in the monitor on my camera, and I can also see in the monitor here and in the mirror. You can very much see my under eyes. So I think if you have really, really dark under eyes, this might not be for you. It might not be for you. I do like to wear this alone, but I also like to wear it underneath my concealers kind of as a color corrector. So that's what I'm going to do today, just so you can kind of see how it sits. So I'm going to take the Coolfy concealer in the shade Mango Drop, and I'm just going to do a very small amount on both sides. And this is as much concealer as I'm currently applying. I just feel like my under eyes are liking a little bit less concealer right now. And I just, again, am blending with my finger because it's going to really melt everything together seamlessly. Okay, next we're moving on to something fun. Contour. So there were 2 new contour products that came out, the Milk Makeup Contour and then the Tower 28 Contour. And the Tower 28 one is called the Sculptino, and this is meant to be more of a contour bronzer. And the Milk Makeup one is called the Sculpt Stick, and I have the shade Shimmer in this one. And I was worried at first because when I was looking, there's 4 shade options. First of all, if you have really, 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 really deep skin, really dark skin, they have the most beautiful contour shade I've ever seen for dark skin. They knew what they were doing that day. They knew what was going on. I was worried about this one. So this is the 3rd shade. The 2nd shade looked like it'd be way too light for me, and the super dark shade looked like it'd be very dark for me. And this one just looked like it was going to be a good tone, but like the undertone looked a little bit warm when I first tried it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit around my face and a little on my nose. Not a ton, but just a little bit. That looks a little bit crazy. And then I'm going to go on with the Tower 28 one as well, and we're going to do kind of a side-by-side. So I'm going to just take my finger, and I'm going to apply it in the same spot as the other one, as you can see. This one is definitely a lot more neutral in color. And I do feel like kind of depends on what you like. Okay, now we have them applied side by side. My nose is looking crazy because one side is one side's the other. So we have the Milk Makeup on this side, and then we have the Tower 28 one on this side. So I'm actually going to blend them out with this brush, and I'm just going to, this is the It Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe number 7, and we're just going to blend it all out. Okay, so that is that side blended out. I would love to know what you think. We're going to do nose contour side by side, just so it's a little bit of a more side-by-side comparison for shades, because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions on that. Next, we're going to do this side. I cleaned off this brush, and we're just going to do the same thing that we did before and just kind of push it in. Okay, so that is that all blended out. We're going to do the nose, but first let's get into, this is the Milk Makeup. This is the Tower 28. Tell me what you think. Can you tell a difference? How do you feel like they blended? Let me know. Next, we're going to use our fingers to blend out contour before we move on to a brush. And I do enjoy blending contour with a finger. It just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes you can move contour around too much, especially around the nose. So it's nice to kind of do it like this. And then I'm going to take a brush, because we're still looking a little crazy, and we're just going to blend it all out. All right, everything is blended out. Let me know what you think. What side do you like better? Do you like the Milk Makeup side, which is this side, or do you like the Tower 28 side, which is this side? Or do you feel like they look relatively similar? I can definitely tell a difference, especially in undertone, but I do think that they both look really nice. So I would love to know what you think. Now let's kind of talk about how they wear. So the Tower 28 one is definitely more of a creamy product, and it feels, if you've ever used their Bronzino, which is their bronzer, or specifically if you've ever used their blush, this is a very, very similar consistency, and it blends really, really seamlessly. And what's nice about it is it's kind of dummy proof, because you can kind of place it, and then when you blend it out, it doesn't blend into nothing, but it blends and it's buildable. So it isn't like, the pigment isn't stuck as if you let it sit for too long. Whereas the Milk Makeup one, it's not stuck, but the makeup does kind of, the pigmentation is a lot stronger. So when it kind of sits too long, you have to really like work on blending it out. Whereas the Tower 28 one, you don't have that issue. They both wear really beautifully throughout the day. The Milk Makeup one does last longer, but again, just because of the consistency of the Tower 28 one, which is a little bit more on the creamy side, but if I set them with powder or a setting spray, then I really don't have an issue with either one. They last reasonably long, but again, still with a setting spray and a powder, the Milk Makeup one in terms of longevity etches this one out ever so slightly. Now I'm going to do a swatch side by side for you guys so you can see. So we have the Milk Makeup one here, and then we have the Tower 28 one here, which is, you have to kind of dig in and use your finger, or you can use a brush. I prefer to use my finger. Just make sure your fingers are clean so you can see the difference. The Milk Makeup one is definitely more on the red side. The Tower 28 one is definitely more of a neutral shade, especially when you're having it next to something that is definitely more on the red side. So you might also prefer one depending on undertone. If you're my complexion, I kind of prefer the shade of the Tower 28 one. However, I do like the Milk Makeup one, and this is one that I would grab more in summertime because I get a lot warmer undertone wise in summertime. But these are both great. I actually really enjoy both of these. All right, next let's move on to a blush, and this is one that I was really excited to see launch, and you guys were really excited to see launch as well. This is the Caliray cream blush, and I got the shade Dune, which is a color, I saw the color and I was like, this is so up my vibe in terms of like tones that I love for my cheeks. So let's do a little swatchy poo. Let's do one on the back of my hand so you can kind of see what it looks like. Really pretty, a very pretty, still blushing tone, but it isn't too pink, too brown. It kind of gives the vibe that I like. So I'm gonna actually put it on the back, leave it on the back of my hand, I should say, and I'm gonna apply it to my cheeks, and I'm just going to use this slanted brush. This is a Sephora 93. This, weirdly enough, for creams, and not weirdly enough, but this is my preferred type of brush for cream blush on my cheeks, even though it's not like a really small brush, because it is like on the bigger side. Like there are smaller ones. This one just blends everything really, really nice. So I'm gonna apply it here first. Look how pretty that is. Are you dying? Okay, so that is the blush on. What do you guys think? So pretty. I didn't over apply this. Normally I apply a lot of blush, but I didn't want to apply too much. I wanted to do like a realistic blush, because I feel like sometimes when people apply blush, it's so intense on them because they love a really, really heavy hand, but it isn't as realistic for like everyone who enjoys something a little bit more natural. But this is a very much buildable shade, which I'm going to show you in a second. So I'm going to apply a little bit more onto the back of my hand. Not a lot. You can also just dip straight in with a brush, but I prefer to kind of put it on the back of my hand. So I put a little bit more, and I'm going to just apply a touch more so you can see how this product builds. Okay, so that is that blended out. I love that. It just looks so good. So next, let's compare it to two blushes that I love, and I've talked about a ton on this channel, but specifically, I feel like in the way that they sit on the skin and stuff is really comparable. So I have this one first, which is the Victoria Beckham Beauty blush. I love this blush. This one is definitely slightly less dewy than the Caliray one, but they blend out beautifully. I would also say that the Caliray one is slightly on the thinner side, and not even thinner, maybe thinner isn't the right word, a little bit thinner, but also the Caliray one is also creamier. So it kind of blends out a little bit on the creamier side. However, that doesn't mean that the Victoria Beckham one isn't creamy. You guys know this is my favorite cream blush stick. This is so good, and it lasts really, really long. Now, comparably to each other, I would say that the Victoria Beckham Beauty one lasts a little bit longer on the cheeks, but I would say that in terms of ease of application and blendability and build and all of that, they are very, very, very similar. Again, I would say that the Caliray is on the dewier side than the Victoria Beckham Beauty one, which I feel like is more of a natural finish. And it just, I don't know, they both melt into the skin, but they do have some differences, but they both melt into the skin seamless. Like when you get close to a mirror, it doesn't look like you've piled makeup on your face, which sometimes I feel like cream blushes can look more apparent on the skin, especially if you like to apply them with a brush, which is what I like to do. It kind of can feel like, oh, the cream's just sitting there, but these melt into the skin. So then the next blush I want to talk about is the Ilia Multi-Stick. Now, I would say that these are very, very similar products. So I love this. I wear the shade Ladybird in the Ilia Multi-Stick, which I would say is very similar. So I would say both of these colors are actually similar. I would say the Ilia one is slightly lighter. So this is the Ilia shade in the shade Ladybird, and this is the Amicole one. So they are similar. I would also say that maybe the Ilia one is slightly more pink, but both beautiful, really neutral, pretty blushes, and they blend like a dream. They to me, have a similar way of application and wear throughout the day. However, I do feel like the Amicole one lasts longer on me, and is slightly less dewy than the Ilia Multi-Stick, but both beautiful products. I love them both. So then next we're moving on to a highlighter. This is a new highlighter from Caliray Beauty, and this is a powder highlight. They have a one that's a little bit more pink in tone. However, I felt like this one specifically, this is the shade Moonlight Beach, would be better for me, especially moving into warmer months where I feel like this type of shade looks best on me. But I am going to apply this to my cheeks. So I'm gonna actually do it with my finger. This is I'm gonna apply it to my hand first. This is a very pretty highlight, and when I first touched this, I was shocked because it's unbelievably creamy for a powder, which I love. I love a creamy powder. It just is everything. So I actually am going to apply this with my fingers so you can kind of see how it applies. Do you see that? Do you see that? What do you guys think? Do you like the shade? I think it's just such a pretty shade. I love a more champagne-y. I mean, like overdoing the highlight, but like, can you have too much highlight? Not really. So I'm gonna apply actually a little bit on my nose because I do love to highlight my nose slightly. Look at that, it's so pretty. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm just gagged, dying. It's just so pretty. So compared to other powder highlights that I have, and I have talked about on this channel, the first one that I have is this one from Ilia in the shade Starstruck. I would say that the Ilia one is significantly less creamy. The Ilia one is still beautiful, and if you do a side-by-side, let me do some on my hand. So this is the Ilia highlighter. And then this is the Caliray Beauty highlighter. Oh, it's just so much. I mean, you touch it and you can just tell the difference in creaminess. You can definitely see the Caliray Beauty one isn't glitterier, because that's not the right word, but it has a little bit more shimmer, but it also melts into the skin a little bit easier because it is creamier. But both really, really pretty shades. Now, the next one I want to talk about is the LYS Beauty Powder Highlight. And again, I would say the Caliray Beauty one compared to the LYS Beauty highlight is significantly creamier. However, I would say that the LYS Beauty highlight is very much more on the glittery side, whereas I feel like the Caliray Beauty one, when you get up close with a mirror, like if I get up close, it doesn't look like there's powder on my skin, and especially if I spray my brush and then apply it, or spray my face and really let it all melt into the skin, it literally does not look like I have like crazy highlight on or anything like that, which I really love. Now, the shade is great because when I look straight on, as you can see, it kind of disappears, so it's not too dark or too ashy or too anything. It really is a good shade for my complexion, and I really, really enjoy that. Now, this is definitely a product I'm gonna grab a ton when I'm a little bit more tan. Right now, I like something a little bit more of a light champagne, and this is a little bit more of a true champagne color, if that makes sense, like with a little bit more not yellow, but a touch more gold to it. And right now my complexion is liking something a little bit, not liking, my complexion is liking, girl, get it together. I personally am liking something a little bit lighter for every day. So then next I do want to do a little bit on my eyelid with this product here. So I'm going to take the Tower 28. I'm just going to put it on my lid. And again, this is in the shade Hammer. I'm going to list everything down below. We're just going to blend it all. I want a little bit of depth. I'm also going to take a little bit of a smaller brush and I'm going to pull a little bit of this product underneath my lash line. So next I am going to take a little bit of this Caliray Beauty highlighter just on my pinky, and I'm going to place a touch of product right here, just a touch, because I don't want to overdo it. So then next we're going to go on with a new mascara. Now this is actually one that I was sent. This is from the brand Talk Beauty, T-O-K Beauty, and this is their Eyes That Talk mascara. And I was going to curl my lashes, but I do feel like it's kind of more fun to show you what a mascara really is like when I'm not curling my lashes, especially the first time I apply it on camera. So this wand is a plastic wand, which I have been loving lately. I was surprised with how thin, not thin, but it's like a smaller plastic brush. And so I was nervous at first, but I want to show you how this product applies. So I just go in, and again, I didn't curl my lashes. I'm not wearing any eyeliner or anything like that. And that's one coat. I'm going to do one coat on both sides, and then we're going to go on to a second coat. Now, what I like about this mascara wand is the fact that there isn't too much product on it, so I don't have to worry about, oh, do I really need to clean this off really, really well? And for those of you that don't know what I mean by clean off, it's just scrape off the excess product, because I do find when I don't scrape off the excess product, I do feel like I can get more running, clumping, all of that. And I do have weepy eyes, so running is always a possibility, even with the best of mascaras. Okay, so that is that applied to my lashes. What do you guys think? What I do find about this mascara is I actually prefer to wear it with other mascaras, and the reason for that is I just feel like my lashes look better with this when it's mixed with something else. So I'll wear another mascara before it, whatever mascara I want that day, and then I like to use this with those. And I feel like, first of all, this has a really nice long wear, but also, and I don't feel like it crumbles because a lot of product doesn't get on this brush, and so therefore I don't have a lot of crumbling coming from like my the tips of my lashes or like the base. And so because of that, it just kind of like separates, and if I have like a clumpy day or whatever it happens, this is a really nice product to separate. But I also feel like depending on the mascara, sometimes although it's not like a waterproof formula or anything like that, it does make my other mascaras wear a little bit better depending on the mascara. So I do really enjoy wearing this as kind of a mascara with other products. It is beautiful on its own, and it does have like a very much, like if you just do one coat, a no makeup look kind of mascara. I also really enjoy this on my bottom lashes. I do feel like ever so slightly at times when I'm wearing mascara on my bottom lashes, and if I've set my under eyes or not, and I don't mean like crazy powder or anything like that, but just a little bit of powder, I do feel like sometimes I can get a little bit of running with this, but not anything that is like horrifying. Like it doesn't like I don't get upset with how my under eyes are looking by the end of the day, but that is something to know if you do have weepy eyes or you feel like your under eyes do kind of have a more raccoony look by the end of the day on average, which definitely is me. Sometimes I have to be careful with this, but I do really enjoy this mascara, and the wand is great. I really like this wand for applying on my bottom lashes because it's such a small wand, as you can see. But it doesn't make them clump because it isn't too much product on the wand. Now, comparably to these three mascaras, so I have the Tower 28, the Jones Road Beauty, and the Ilia Limitless Mascara. I do enjoy it, but it doesn't overtake these. Like I'm not grabbing this over these three mascaras. I do enjoy the mascara, and I do think maybe this will be something I'm maybe wearing a little bit more on my bottom lashes than wearing on my top lashes just because I prefer other formulas and the build that other formulas give me, because I do prefer something that is kind of a little bit more versatile. So I like something that can give me a no makeup lash, but then also that something that can build up, and I can be like, okay, if I pack this for a trip or I have an event or something, during the day I can wear a mascara and it be a little bit more minimal, but then when I want to like jazz it up for nighttime, these three mascaras work for me in that sense. Out of all of them, the Jones Road Beauty is definitely the most volumizing, if I don't get it together. It's the most volumizing, but I do really enjoy these. These both, the Tower 28 and the Ilia Limitless, have plastic brushes. Okay, so the next, another product from Talk Beauty that they also sent me is their lip tonic. And I was really excited to see this because you know how I love lip products. So the shade that I got in this is the shade Inspire. I am wearing a little bit of a lip oil underneath, so maybe let me remove that real quick and then we'll try it on. Okay, so this is the shade, what did I say, Inspire? And I was really excited to try this out because I just love anything hydrating on my lips right now, because as I've been saying nonstop, you're probably so sick of me saying this, but I have been desperately needing something to help with my dry as all get out lips. I really enjoy this product. It is really hydrating. I do like the way that it wears. It's smoothing. And by smoothing, I mean it just like kind of smooths over my lip lines that I have, because I do have a lot of lines in my lips because I just have more wrinkly lips. So I do enjoy the way that it kind of just smooths over and everything and doesn't enhance it. It's hydrating, but it's not thick. So it does wear decently long. I have other lip glosses and tinted lip balms and lip oils that are thicker than this, and I have a whole video that I uploaded, I believe a few before this or right before this, and if you're interested in other products that are like this, check that out. But this I really enjoy because it still lasts long, but it's not the most long lasting. It's still thick, but it's not the thickest, which I do enjoy, because sometimes when your lip gloss or lip oil, whatever, is thick, hair's just sticking to it like a breeze, and then all your hair is stuck to your lips. This is nice because it doesn't have that. It has more of a consistency of the Rowan Beauty liquid lip balms. I would say the Rowan Beauty liquid lip balms are a little bit more on this silky side, but this one has like a similar vibe. I do really enjoy it. And yeah, that's it. That is it for my full face of new Clean Beauty. And by new, I mean new to me, Clean Beauty. I would love to know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. Have you tried any of these? If you have, what are your thoughts? If you haven't, are you going to? And if you've tried other new stuff, let me know about down below. I know that we have a couple exciting launches coming, and so I'm definitely getting my hands on those. Don't you fret. I'm getting my hands on everything. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.